Okay, I think we're live. So, hopefully I'll be able to get through this. It's always crazy around my house because I have 3 kids and a dog that really just likes to go nuts. The dog just makes a lot of noise. So, I've been pondering, what am I going to do over the next 4 weeks that's just going to try and add as much value as possible to anyone that's watching this. And I'm a big fan of Gary Vee, and he always talks about document the process. Well, there's nothing that I can show you over the next 4 weeks that's going to be like, wow, that's so crazy. So I'm going to kind of flip the script a little bit and talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs as it pertains to my entrepreneurial journey. So, I know that sounds like, what's up, Ryan? What's up, Alex? I know that sounds a little crazy, but if you understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'll post it down here in the comments, it's a pyramid, and it's got 5 levels to it. So level 1, and it depends which diagram you look at, but basically level 1, physiological needs and safety needs. Level 2, love, acceptance, a sense of belonging. Level 3, love, acceptance, and a sense of belonging. Level 4, esteem, and level 5, self-actualization. So what's fascinating is if I go backwards, not going for the next 4 weeks, but I'm going to break up my life backwards. So phase 1 is going to be from basically 0 until I was 12 years old, and that will be my physiological needs, safety needs. The second phase will be my journey from 12 to 24, and that will be, love, acceptance, finding my tribe. 24 to 36 will be esteem, and then 36 until today, I'm 45, maybe I'm on that path towards like a little bit of self-actualization. Who knows? So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. So every week I'm going to break down one of those levels and break down my life. Tonight will be from the young years, like from 0 to 12 years old. Hopefully you can hear this. And by the way, I'm getting a new iPhone tomorrow, so we'll see how that works out. It should be in tomorrow, maybe Thursday. But anyway, John Newman, CEO of the Newman Real Estate Group. I also do a podcast called Welcome to the Machine. Considering a second podcast, I mentor a lot of, young adults. Married for 2000, was it 99? Yeah, 99. So I've been married for almost 18 years, have an awesome wife, Nicole, have 3 kids, and a crazy dog. And the dog was not my idea. That's kind of who I am, so if you hear somebody yelling and screaming, that's probably one of my daughters. But anyway, so let's go backwards, 0 to 12 years old. Grew up in PG County. My dad and mom both got married at a very young age. They were both like 20 years old. I don't remember what my mom was doing at the time. She was trying to start her own business, if I remember correctly. My dad was actually working in sales for selling concrete trucks or heavy equipment. Lower middle class, I think until I was about 7 years old, if I can remember correctly. 5 to 7 years old, lived in an apartment. Like we actually had roaches and stuff like that. That apartment complex was called Spring Hill Lake over in Greenbelt, Maryland, not far from the University of Maryland. And I can't see any comments, so I'm probably not doing something right here. Hold on, let me hit a button. Nope, that's me writing a comment. All right, I don't know what's going to happen. Whatever. I'll see it later. I'll respond to any comments if you all ask any questions. So, lived in an apartment, got to understand roaches. I remember Jello was like really cool. I don't know. Went to Berwyn Heights Elementary, and then somewhere between like 6 and 7 years old, moved to Berwyn Heights. Had a single family house, and it was probably about 900 square feet on the main level. The basement was not finished because I used to ride skateboards and stuff down there. Wasn't a whole lot that went on as a child. In this 0 to 12-year period, my parents were divorced, and both of them got remarried probably around the time I was 9 or 10. And what I learned in that early phase was two things. One, I was somewhat smart in school at that age. Like, I was like in advanced classes or something like that. I was a troublemaker, so I like to cause problems, even in elementary school, just like I do today. And I was angry. Like when my parents got divorced, I was pissed off. Like had wanted nothing to do with my stepfather, wanted nothing to do with my stepmother. And I think in that 0 to 12 time frame, I started getting. That's when I started to get in trouble. Start picking on kids. I was in the principal's office, but I got phenomenal grades and was, I guess, whatever they want to call it, advanced in some talented and gifted program or something like that. The other thing that was fascinating in those early years were I learned at an early age how to make money. So I wasn't born an entrepreneur. Like I said, my father was a business owner, but at a very, very young age, I hustled things. So when we lived in Berwyn Heights, people would put their newspapers out by the curb and the county would come by and people would literally take their newspapers and put them in a paper grocery bag and put them by the curb, or they would tie them up and put the newspapers by the curb, and the county would come by and pick them up. So what I would do is I would ride around, I had a bicycle, and then I think it was like a wagon that I put behind my bike. And I would get there before the county got there, and I would grab all the newspapers, put them in my basement that wasn't finished, and then my dad and myself would take the newspapers up to the recycling plant that was over in College Park. It was actually by Lake Artemisia, which is there right now. And I would recycle those newspapers and get money. So I was probably somewhere between the age of 9 and 12 at this time, but I wanted to hustle and make money at a very, very. I also did can recycling. I would go to family picnics because I have a really big family, and my uncles and stuff would drink beer and throw horseshoes and stuff, and I would charge them money to go refill their beer. So they give me a quarter, and I'll go over to the keg and bring them back a cup of beer. I think it was the first time I tried beer too, but we'll get to that part later. So I was, once again, I'll try and summarize this. I was a troublemaker, but I was also interested in learning how to make money. Back then it was predominantly through recycling cans and papers and filling up people's beer. Oh, and then also I guess I might be getting to middle school now. I don't know, so 12 years old is probably still elementary school. So elementary school, I was at Berwyn Heights, Seabrook. Oh, I would pencil fight, make money for pencil fighting. And I would also, at the lunch table, do stupid human tricks. People would dare me that I wouldn't do something, and I would do it, and I'd make them pay me money or give me their lunch by doing that. Got into a lot of fights. I would say maybe people just beat me up. I don't know if I actually fought back or what, but I had to learn how to fight at a pretty young age because in the neighborhood I grew up in, if you didn't fight, people would steal your bicycle, or steal your skateboard. So I had to learn how to defend myself at a relatively young age. Played baseball, basketball. We didn't have soccer in PG County. We didn't have lacrosse or any of those things. Did not play football because my mom was worried I'd get hurt. So that's kind of my story at 0 to 12 years old. It gets really, really interesting between 12 and 24. So in order to hear between 12 and 24, because that's when it gets crazy, you got to check in next week. So that's it, guys. John Newman. And we will check out next week what happens between the ages of 12 and 24. And that will pertain to the love and acceptance level of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll catch you all next week. Peace out.